Hey folks, Pat here from DNS. This Madison area fishing report is current as of December 29th. I hope everybody that celebrated had a good Christmas. I know it was one of the warmer Christmases I can remember, but we can talk about some of that a little bit later. Just a couple of reminders here. Muskie season closes New Year's Eve, so get out there and get it while you can. Speaking of muskies, I had a guy, Matt, who's a good customer of the shop, come in, show me this pic of a beautiful muskie he caught off the Monona Terrace wall. It was 40 inches, beautiful fish. And, of course, it's not uncommon for folks to catch muskies down there. But what was cool about his story, he caught that fish on this. This is actually an ice fishing rod with an ice fishing jig on it, a little panfish jig. So, yeah, it's a pretty cool story. It was a heck of a fight for him, but, he got her in and got her released safe. So, congrats to Matt for that one. But while he was telling me that, he said, "You want to see a big fish?" And he showed me this picture of his dad's, I think, neighbor, 53-inch muskie come off Lake Monona. So just a tank of a fish. You can see it's so fat here, but this one's ready for winter. I can tell you that. But yeah. So anyway, the muskies are out there still doing it. Get it while you can because the season closes on the 31st. Otherwise, I guess we can, yeah, it's a little bit of shop news here too. We'll just move right on into that. I did get my last shipment of Tikka minnows in. These are made by Clam. It's a tiny panfish jig. It's got a tungsten minnow shaped body, a little blade that comes off the back. These have been super, super popular. I have had trouble keeping them on the pegs here. And I know I heard Cabela's is out. I think Farm and Fleet's out. The Clam website's out. And I think my one supplier told me this was it for what he had in stock. So, yeah, come get them while you can because they're the new hot thing, I guess. Otherwise, also happy to announce that we have some rod building materials finally come in. So we got a couple of 5-foot glass blanks, 5-foot graphite blanks, got cork handles, pulsator style reels, Slater reels. These two options I have here are, on the pricier side of things for sure, but they are definitely very high quality blanks. I do have some of the cheaper blanks that Gene, similar to the ones Gene used to carry, but those won't be here till mid-January, so stay tuned for that. I also am excited about TJ's Pinpoint Plastics. These were a big part of Pat Westberg's presentation at our last seminar winter seminar series here at the shop. He's a big fan of these. These have amazing action. It's a wedgie style. Goes down to a very, very fine point. I'll be doing a video here in the next couple of days in the Tube of Truth to show you what kind of great action these have. But yeah, excited to get these up on the pegs. Got all the popular colors. And these are a 20-pack for just $2.99. So great deal there too. And yeah, come check them out. They're pretty awesome. I think that pretty much does it for the shop commercial there. I guess we'll talk about the report. So weather-wise, yeah, like I said, one of the warmer Christmases I can remember for sure. It's 50 degrees and rain all week, so definitely didn't make any ice. In fact, we lost what little ice we did have in the area. The forecast does call for some cooler temperatures through next week, and we will make some ice, but with lows only dipping down to the mid to low 20s, it's not going to come as fast as a lot of us might like, but I do believe there's ice on the way. The buoy out here in Lake Mendota, of course, is still down, so I don't have a current temp, but somebody posted online they had 36 to 38 degrees a couple days ago. I don't have a current temp for Lake Monona, but the USGS monitor down here in Brittingham Bay was reading 35.6 degrees this morning, so still a little ways from making ice down there. But with this cool down coming, hopefully that won't be too far away. And I guess speaking of the cool down, I do believe their time is limited, but folks are definitely still getting their boats out, although most of the piers have been pulled from the launches. That doesn't mean you can't launch a boat. A lot of the launches just don't have piers. Ones that do are Marshall Park over here on the west side of Mendota. Spring Harbor still has a pier in. Warner Park's pier is going to be in all year round, or I mean all winter, I guess. I guess all year round too. On Monona, Olbrich Gardens, or Olbrich Park, sorry, has their one pier in still. The pier from Olin has been pulled down to Wabisa at Babcock Park. The gate is still open down there, so still possible to launch a boat there at the pier they have. And I do believe the Fish Camp County Park still has a pier in. So still some opportunities to get out there on the water, but with this cold coming, I don't know how long all that's going to last. Generally around the chain, just like last week without ice, there really isn't all that much to talk about. Folks are still getting walleyes up shallow, mostly at night, with large fatheads, chubs, and shiners outproducing lures lately. And of course, there's pike mixed in. A lot of good action for pike all around the chain. And muskie folks, obviously, I showed you at the beginning, are still getting some action. Although muskie suckers are harder to come by. I do hear about some good panfish action here and there around town, but that's really pretty much it. Looks like the area rivers are running slightly above their seasonal averages for this time of year, and walleye action continues to be good on both the Rock and Wisconsin rivers. Up here in Cherokee, not a lot going on up there. It's been wide open all week, but with this cold snap coming, that should be one of the first places to lock up. The 113 bridges are wide open. I've heard about a few folks casting down there and picking up some small pike and the occasional bonus walleye down there. Like I said, Lake Mendota, is still 36 to 38 degrees. Don't get a lot of reports. A few folks launching boats and getting some walleyes up shallow, but most of the walleyes are being caught by shore anglers, mostly at night and mostly with live bait. Like I said, a lighted bobber with a chub or a fathead or a small shiner under it. In the Union area down here along the University shoreline, Tenney Park breakwall, Warner Park breakwall have all been good. But like I said, if you got a boat and you launch, they've been doing well, generally up shallow everywhere for walleyes, and of course tons of pike on the chain. I was actually fishing with a buddy over near Mendota County Park this weekend, and he was doing really well. He got 3 pike and a walleye, and I got skunked. So I guess that's just how it goes. On Monona, yeah, they've been same deal basically. Walleye bite continues to be good from the mouth of the Yahara River here down along this shoreline to the Monona Terrace and along John Nolan Drive. Those fish are still up shallow. Of course, accessible by a boat, but a lot of the folks I talk to are hitting them from shore. And again, live bait's been outproducing the casting lures, crankbaits and paddle tails and that. On Monona Bay, there are bluegills in here and a few crappies being picked up in the bay itself and in the triangles. I actually had some free time on Saturday night, ducked down there before it got dark, and I just had my fly rod. I picked up a few gills, but most of the folks Monona Bay was actually capped over as far as I could see. It was very foggy, so I couldn't see way out, but it was definitely not fishable Saturday night. But all that's cleared out, of course. But so I fished up here in the triangles. A couple guys I talked to said they were doing better than I was with rocket bobbers, where they could cast out a lot farther. But I picked up a few fish, and it was nice to get out. So I haven't heard anything off Wingra. I'm sure there's some muskies happening out there, and a lot of tiny bluegills below the spillway. Upper Mud Lake's full of panfish right now. If you can get up there, Lake Wabisa walleyes action's been good from Babcock down to the Bible camp area here, and folks are still, like I said, able to launch out of Babcock. Haven't heard anything out of Kegonsa, but of course you can launch at Fish Camp. Great areas to check out are going to be the State Park is usually a pretty safe bet for walleyes. Down here to the Viking County Park, aka the ditches, Stoughton ditches down here. Also a very early ice spot, so I would look there for some ice to start forming this week. Otherwise, geez, I don't know what's going on with my screen here, but we'll go down to the Rock River, and I haven't heard a lot out of Lake Koshkonong, but I have heard about some fish being picked up from Black Hawk Island area up through Fort and up to the Jefferson Dam. Look at deeper holes for walleyes and saugers. It sounds like numbers are good, but the size has been a little bit of an issue. I'm just going to try to refresh this. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, the screen's all weird. Anyway, up here to Beaver Dam, haven't heard a lot coming out of there, but they should have ice soon too. That lake is nice and shallow. Ice is over pretty early. Out on the river, folks river levels are at their seasonal averages for this time of year. I haven't heard a lot from the river itself, but of course, the dams have been producing great numbers of walleyes. Size has been a bit of an issue. Prairie du Sac Dam, I know, they've been hitting them good up there. On Lake Wisconsin, they've had kind of an on again, off again relationship with ice, and the ability to launch has been tentative. But I did hear that they put the launch back in here at Sunset Bay. So there's that. I don't know what's going on with my screen. The fingers up here at Harmony Grove should ice over pretty quick. Of course, the grade over here is one of the first spots to go. So yeah, look to that. But the folks that have been able to launch boats have been getting some good walleye action. But again, size is a bit of an issue. Same thing up the river to the Dells at the dam, or up to Castle Rock Dam, Petenwell dams have all been producing good fish. Haven't heard anything out of either of those lakes themselves, but it's just not that time of year where a lot of folks just aren't getting out. Haven't heard anything off the Mississippi River other than a few folks are able to launch boats and fish dams. Most of the sloughs that were fishable, at least south of La Crosse, are no longer fishable, but that should change here pretty quick too this next week with these cool temps coming in. I made a post earlier this week. I was over here in Milwaukee doing a little fishing, broke away from the family chaos for a little bit, got over to Clutch Park, and I don't know if I can find that's Lincoln Park. Got over to Clutch Park here at the dam and checked out the new fish passage that came through. I can't switch my map right now, but anyway, it's in this area. Oh yeah, up here. So anyway, it's a cool thing. It's going to allow for the fish to get up the river and spawn. I didn't catch any fish myself, but it was cool to check that out. And folks are definitely getting fish. Browns and steelhead and some lake coho are still being caught in the tributaries and in the harbors over in Milwaukee and up and down the East Coast. As long as there's open water to fish, spinning anglers are using crankbaits, spoons, and spinners, and of course spawn sacks out in the harbors and in the rivers. If you're using a fly rod, I was using a big woolly bugger with a egg trailer. I also like to run like a big nymph with also an egg trailer on it, but I didn't have the best luck with that. But that's just me, I guess. So anyway, go give it a shot. We still have some open water over there for a while before we get some ice. Inland trout, of course, is closed. The early catch and release season opens in just 8 days, so that's very exciting. The long range forecast for the early season opener doesn't look too bad. So if we don't have ice, maybe go out and try the stream. I don't have. Well, I guess we'll talk. I do have the pink squirrels. That's a great winter fly. I think all winter I'm just going to tell people. I'm just going to start my happy fly day here by saying you really should just be using a pink squirrel. But then I'll talk about other flies too. This is an example of a zebra midge, and I've got a whole box of these here. Great tiny winter trout flies. So swing in the shop and stock up on some of those. But yeah, we'll be doing the happy fly day thing through the winter here. So yeah, I guess that pretty much does it for the report. I want to wish everybody a happy and safe New Year. Sorry again about my screen kind of freaking out here, but we may do. And feel free to call the shop, 241-4225, if you have any questions or want us to expand on anything. Maybe we know a more current ice report. Otherwise, yeah, Happy New Year. Thanks for tuning in. And we will talk to y'all in the new year, 2024. Take care.